I just get so confused on which formulas to use and when to go to the Excel thing and when to go to the applet. And I think I spent about half an hour just on number 14, and I'm still not figuring it out.
You know, I got stuck on 11 last night, and I could not get past it. And I stared at it again during nap time today for another half hour before I finally realized this is the stuff we just did last week. Or last week.
I got stuck on 23. I think I skipped over. I think I got stuck on 11 too. But I got stuck on 23 and I skipped it and I stared at 20. I think it's 23 for a long time, long time. I think that's when I texted you and was like, I can't do this.
Right.
So, but I did finally come up with an answer. So we'll see. We'll see.
Well, and then there was that nasty, shocking revelation that maybe I might actually have to pull out my calculator and use it on 24.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of sad.
Oh yes, I did write down the formula. I had to bring out the calculator for that. And then also, okay, so Dominique, did you watch his video?
I did. And he had just. What are you asking about it? Because I know that he'd said we have the rest of the week off with the exception of just turning in our own individual raw data.
Oh, no. I wasn't really asking. He said that for that, Monica didn't watch the video yet, but for that 1 proportion and 2 proportion Excel sheet, there should also be a third tab, a what is it?
Chi-square?
Yeah, there should be a chi-square tab, and then there should be a version tab that says, like, 2015, and if we don't have that, we are using the wrong one.
I remember him saying that, and I hadn't gone back and looked at it since I watched that.
I've looked everywhere for this updated one, and I can't find it. Anyways, that's just mine. We can still do it in SPSS, but I think if we had that Excel spreadsheet, I think it would be faster.
Oh, I bet it would be faster in Excel because everything's slower in SPSS. I'm gonna have to look. I'm gonna have to watch that video tonight. And
I had lost my bookmark with that Excel one that came up, and I was trying to go back through the lessons to figure out which one it was in to pull it back up and save it again, and I couldn't find it today.
Oh no.
There is a link to it. If you go to the exam page, there is a link to it.
On lesson 20?
No, on the next, wherever on lesson 20, on the Unit 3 exam page, it has all the links that we need to use, and one of them is that Excel spreadsheet. It has a link to the normal probability app, it has one to the Excel spreadsheet, and then it has the data files that we're going to use for the exam.
So I could go ahead and pull those up and at least save them.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
The categorical data analysis spreadsheet is the one I think I was looking for, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Now I'm looking for it too, but I don't want to accidentally open up the exam and be stuck taking it.
Yeah, just don't push start.
I've done stupid things like that before.
Alright. Group meetings. Oh. I'm not excited about this. Alright, do you guys want to start?
Yeah.
Okay, opening this one up, it shows 1 proportion, 2 proportion, inversion, but it doesn't show
It doesn't show the
chi-square.
Are you all done?
Yeah.
But that's okay.
Yeah, I mean it still works. It just he was just saying in the video, he's like, so you should be using that Excel spreadsheet and the tabs and you know, he's like, and it's version, and I can't remember the date he gave. He's like, if you got a different version, then you're using the wrong one.
Yeah, this one is updated September 2014, so I think it's the right version. It better be the right version since they're the ones that attached it. That would be kind of frustrating if it wasn't.
Well,
So,
I think he's just saying there's another one floating out there somewhere that has a third tab that has that you can use, but I don't know where it is. But anyway.
and then on this one, I don't know if we even have to record this one, but I guess it wouldn't hurt to record it anyway.
Yeah, I realized that after I hit record.
Yeah, but I think what's the worst that could happen? We overdo things. It's
Right.
better to overdo it than underdo it.
Sure. I'd rather there be proof somewhere that we were here and we did our meeting than there not be and somebody asked for it.
Yes.
All right, I am ready whenever you guys are.
All right, let's go ahead and jump in because I've gone over like especially these word problems where it says choose the right test. I don't know. There's several of them that I have questions on, and I've gone back and changed them a few times, and even using my the statistical flow sheet.
I am not confident at all in what I chose. So.
Well, I guess we'll just go with the majority and see what happens.
I'm just going through right now and renumbering everything because this always starts off with number 1 and then everything winds up being like 1 off from my...
Yeah, that's true.
I'm just renumbering everything right now.
Well, let me get back where I need it to be.
Which one is it? So sorry if I'm making paper noises.
No, you're okay. Okay, so group meeting, lesson 20. Not in the homework, not in the exam.
You want the thing, you know, the thing.
Oh, so in this one, or is it? Okay, it does say to type in the letter. So I'm going to go through and renumber mine really quick too, just. Who has the little puppy?
That is mine.
Sounds cute.
I've got a couple of little dogs running around right now. Neither of them are actually mine, but none of them are barking right now either.
Mine likes to bark. He's an annoying little snot. He's probably barking at a neighbor.
Okay. So I guess I'm ready whenever everyone else is.
Okay, well for that one I got test of 2 proportions.
That's what I put down the first time, and then I did chi-squared, but.
I did test of 2 proportions.
And that's what I went with initially, so I think that's probably what we should do.
Oh, hold on, no, I think you're right, because it asks if they're independent. I actually do think it's chi-square now looking at it, because it specifically asks if it is independent.
So the chi-squared test of independence. That's why I changed it back to chi-squared after looking at the test 2 proportion.
What? Much of education levels. What?
And the reason I went with it is because you've got the two countries. So if you looked at it in a graph, you'd have United States and then Korea, and then to the right, you would set up the levels of education: the high school, undergrad degree, master's degree, and doctoral degree.
Yeah.
Set it up that way. That's why I had changed it to the chi-squared.
Well, this question is worded differently from the one on the review sheet, too.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
No, I think it's pretty close.
Oh, it is? It is.
Just at the end, it's different. And right there, when they talk about independent, that changes it to chi-squared.
Okay, I feel better about changing it then.
Yeah. No, this is chi-squared now. Nice to know we have to really read our questions really well.
Well, and I'm thinking with having gone through this, I'm maybe at 50% because there's so many that you just, I don't know.
Same here. Okay, so that one we're going with chi-squared. All right, next one. I have no confidence, but I put T paired sample.
And I put independent sample T.
I put independent sample T as well. They're not paired because there's nothing about the first group that chooses the second group.
Correct.
Does that make sense? I mean, they've got two groups. They've got over 40 and under 40, but there's nothing about either group that chooses who's in the other group.
I gotta remember that. See, in my mind, I'm like, okay, one group is 40 and over, which means the other group must be 40 and younger, but I gotta remember it doesn't matter who is in the group.
Right.
That's what I always just get hung up on. So, okay, so independent.
And that one is D if everything's still the same as it was before.
Uh-huh.
Independent sample T, okay.
All right.
And on this one, I put one sample Z. But I wasn't sure.
I put one sample T only because there was nothing anywhere in this that indicates what a sigma is, what the sigma is. Without the sigma, you can't do the one sample Z.
You're right, because sigma is unknown in the T. So let's see.
That's the reason why I chose it, was because the sigma is never even mentioned.
Okay.
I don't even want to say what I put because I don't know why I did it, and it's ridiculous. So.
We'll let you plead the fifth.
Okay, I'm going to plead the fifth on this one. I don't know why I put that. Oh, but see, I said this is something I've totally got to work on is the speaking test. Okay.
And then on 5, let's see. I put independent sample T, but let me read through it.
I put paired samples because each student did both locks.
So those locks belong to that student.
Yeah, each student did both locks, so it would be like, I mean, you're comparing the results of one student doing one lock to the results of the same student doing a different lock. So.
Okay, so you went with paired sample T because of that?
Yeah.
That makes sense. That was one that I was going back and forth on.
I did put independent like Dominique, but it does make sense.
Yeah, basically by being in the first group, the same student was automatically chosen to be in the second group.
Ah, why can't I get that? So for the clue for one sample D is if we have sigma known.
Uh-huh.
What is the clue for one sample T then? I'm kind of
Sigma.
in the clue for
That's
you two.
sigma unknown.
Yeah, if
But how do I? Well, I guess that's where I just need to work on it. But how do I know if it's a test of one proportion versus a one sample T?
that's
One's categorical and the other's quantitative.
exactly. That's when you've got to be able to figure out whether it's quantitative or categorical.
All right. I feel like even in the categorical ones, they use numbers, so I get confused.
In the categorical one, they use percentages. They
Percentages.
don't use like raw data. They use like this percent of the population instead of, and the percent, let me see if I can explain it. The percent usually describes something categorical or a category of people instead of like just numbers of things. Does that make sense?
It does make more sense, yes.
If you're looking at something and it's giving you just, you know, just a list of numbers or two lists of straight numbers of whatever, then it's probably quantitative. If you're looking at a list and there's a lot of string variables, if there's a lot of words, then you're probably looking at something categorical, and everything's going to wind up being in percentages when you're looking at your numbers.
Okay. Oh, I like how you word stuff.
I just have to think, is it something that, like I'm counting numbers versus am I counting things?
Right.
Okay. Okay. Well, let's see how I did on the other one.
Yes. So we're on C, right? Or, sorry, 6.
6, yeah.
So this one, I didn't know. I wasn't sure if it was considered categorical or not.
Okay. I put that it's paired samples, because each house,
Is a number.
well, yeah, each house, the actual appraisal is a number, and they're wanting those to match up. But each appraiser does the same house. If one appraiser does something, the other appraiser is automatically chosen for the second group. I put that it was paired samples.
And that's the one I had put on this one too, the paired sample T confidence interval.
Uh-huh.
And for pretty much the same reasons, because we're looking at the numbers of the values of the homes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm just going to write this down real quick. Values of homes and appraisers. Have to do the same one.
And then, yeah, I chose that they were paired because if one appraiser did a house, the other appraiser was automatically chosen for the other group.
Okay. So then for the next one, that's a percentage? Yes? No?
Yes. Yes, yes.
I picked F.
This one I wasn't sure on, and I chose E for one proportion. And reading through it, I'm trying to decide why I put E, not F.
Yeah, I picked F.
Because we're looking at both accounting majors and psychology majors, right?
Right, that's two different groups.
Why is it not, though? Because it's two different groups, but then it's also satisfied and very satisfied, so why isn't it the chi-squared?
Because it's not asking if they're It's not asking if their satisfaction is independent of anything. Chi-square is strictly for independence.
We don't do confidence intervals with chi-square.
We also don't do confidence intervals for chi-square because there's too many possible combinations.
Okay.
Grayson, hold on. Let me.
So F. So then the next one, would that be paired sample
What did I put?
for the Oreos?
I put one sample T.
Erg!
Hold on, let me look at this one again because I didn't get either one of those.
The fact that we're comparing it to the regular, the double stuff is being compared to the regular Oreo.
And it's a quantitative.
It is quantitative, so we can already knock out E and F. Honestly, we can knock out we can automatically knock out, I think, paired samples. We can knock out C. We can knock out A. There's no sigma. Basically, we're between B and D.
So why, okay, so I was in my thought process, which I'm not saying I'm right, I just need to understand why. You let me know why. So I'm like, okay, well, if they're doing the double stuff, then I felt like it was automatically you were doing the regular. So that's why I paired them.
But the claim is...
But they're not claiming that the double stuff against the regular. It's simply stating how much filling is in the double stuffed. Oh, in order to compare it to the filling. Never mind. So...
But the only samples you're taking, it tells that you're taking is a 55 double stuff. It's not saying anything about the filling amount or, you know, how many, or that there's even a sample of the regular Oreos, which tells me that somehow these people already know what's supposed to be in regular Oreos and they're comparing, they're taking their samples, because I don't see anything that says anything about the fact that they're actually taking a sample of the regular ones.
Oh, that's a good point.
So we're not doing two samples at all. We're actually just doing one sample.
Uh-huh.
So it would have to be the one sample t-test because the sigma is unknown, right?
Oh,
Right.
that's tricky.
By eliminating the rest, that's all that's left.
Right. And the reason why I assume that they didn't take the sample is because I assume that we're supposed to read these problems as if we're actually expected to solve them. I know we're not supposed to solve them, but, you know, they're not going to give us something that isn't real life what we would be given to solve at some point, you know?
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think they would try and play such a dirty trick on us. I would hope.
Okay, that makes sense.
I think maybe that one was just possibly overthinking it.
Well, after the process of elimination, I'm happy with B.
Okay.
I'm happy with B too.
Okay. Cool.
So on 9, I put A.
I did too.
Yes.
Awesome.
And then
And 10,
B.
Yes.
because we're assuming the null is true.
Mm-hmm. When they start talking confidence intervals, I go always for the weirdly worded one. It's usually the right one. So I went with D.
You went with one?
D.
Oh, I thought you said B. Okay,
I
D. Yes.
don't know, when I looked it up again, when I looked at the definition, I know that we don't like the word chance, but it also says that there's it has the phrase true mean is between 10 and 20. And that's one I'd had a question on before on a homework one, because, and on the test, when I said, what, I don't like the word chance, and he said, well, replace it with opportunity or something like that. There's a 95% opportunity that the true mean is between 10 and 20. But I really focused on that true mean, so I went with C. Because the last one, I don't know, I just don't like the 95% of all 95%. I think that's just, I don't know.
Well, and you put 95, what I do is I put 95% confidence intervals as like one clump, one grouping, one phrase. Because that just describes what confidence interval it is. It could be like a 90% confidence interval or whatever. But it's saying that basically, I mean, the 95% confidence interval is, in this example, 10 to 20. 90% or 95% of these particular confidence intervals would actually contain the true mean. I don't know if I'm explaining that very well at all. I also know this is another phrase that came up in the text a lot that confused me and I hated, but...
Okay, I'm sorry. I got distracted. My husband had texted me. So, but you were still sticking with the sample mean?
I was still sticking with the...
D as in dog.
Yes, the last one.
Okay.
I'm trying to find it if I can, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to very quickly.
All right. Well, 12 is the one that was one of them that we were talking about earlier.
Uh-huh.
I for some reason I want to say that I went with D, the 0.30.
That's what I did.
Okay.
You know, I was dumb, and I don't know why I went with A, because that totally does not make sense. It should be D.
I'll take care of it after class. Yes. 13, I got B.
I did too.
I did too. 14, I got A.
14, I got A.
Okay, and that was one I was still struggling with. So, what formula did you use for 14? Because I did kind of like well, I was doing it by hand, and I don't know if I should have been doing it by hand. It probably should have been like the chi-squared one, but I don't know.
I did it by hand. I did 0.25 because that's your proportion that you're comparing it to.
Okay.
Minus 0.3, which is your P.
Correct.
Divided that by
your standard deviation.
Your standard deviation, which is what we got in the previous question.
Okay.
And then I got my z-score was negative 1.091, which you plug into the probability applet.
Yes.
I'm trying to see. I've got my thing here where I was working on getting the z-score, but I think my z-score ended up being really funky.
So the formula is z equals p hat minus p divided by and it's the standard deviation formula, the P1 minus P over N square root of that.
Okay, because the one I was using for the z-score was p hat 1 minus p hat 2 minus the p1 minus p2 over the standard deviation.
You were using the formula for 2 proportions instead of 1.
Okay, so that's where I screwed up. Okay.
This exam makes me cry like the last one did.
It's going to make me cry. I'm nervous as all nervous.
What? Oh, okay, cool. I got C, which isn't C on the sheet.
What? Are we moving on?
Yeah. When I saw that it was just the wrong formula I used, I'm good.
Okay.
Oh.
So 15.
Uh-huh.
I got E.
B as in boy.
There is no E. Wait, there's an E. Why isn't there an E on here?
Check your numbers. I got negative 0.003 and then 0.029.
So
Yeah.
that would, yeah, C.
It's C on the quiz.
Okay.
It's the same numbers, but they changed the stuff on the quiz.
Gotcha. And then next one I got B.
B, yes.
Yes.
Then D.
1.458. Yeah, 1.
Yep.
Okay.
And then D again.
0. Oopsie, I skipped the number. Okay.
Hold on. So 0.145.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I forgot to write down what test it was though. Oh, it's P1, so it's 2 proportions, right?
Sure, we'll say that.
Which one are you looking at? Or you said 2 proportions?
Yeah, when you have a P1 and a P2, it's 2 proportions.
Yes. And I was doing the 2 proportion test on the 1 proportion question.
Right.
I just want to write these down real quick. 1 proportion. Okay. So then,
when they say something like they give you a P1 and a P2, or if they say, you know, let group 1 be and then let group 2 be, you know you're doing 2 proportions.
okay. Well, I got the answers right, so I must have done it right. But and then let's see. I put no. I failed to reject.
Yep.
Yep.
E.
Uh-huh.
All right. Next one. So then this one is obviously a chi-squared.
Yeah, this one's obviously chi-squared. And I got 6.580.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And then I'm renumbering real quick. Sorry. Okay, and then 0.087 for the p-value.
Yes. D? D as in dog, right?
Yes.
Yes. And then E, no, the p-value is greater than 0.05.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And then
These ones I always get screwed up in my mind too.
this looks different than our practice one. This is different. Is it different for you guys?
What is
I'm
this?
trying to look at it real quick.
I don't think this is right.
So just reading through it without the letters, I would put, we have insufficient evidence to say that being a morning or evening person is independent on age.
Yeah, I think that is.
So that would be B.
Yes.
I'm so used to the way that it's written right now versus I didn't like the way it was written on the practice test.
Yeah, I didn't like that either.
It made me. I had to like redo my thinking. Okay, next one. So the next one, I did a one proportion test. That is the one I did write down.
Mm-hmm. Did you get C for 24?
I did
Yeah.
0.190 and 0.310.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Yes.
And E, 1537.
Got 1537.
Yes, 1537.
And then C, HO equals 0.2 and HA is greater than 0.2.
Yes.
Yes.
And then P again.
Yeah, NP is greater or equal to 10, and then N times 1 minus P is greater than or equal to 10.
Correct.
And A, 1.768.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
And D, 0.077.
Cool.
Yes.
Oh, I got 0.039 for some reason. I'll go with you. You
That
know,
one was supposed to cut it off.
I wonder if I didn't divide by 2. I wonder if I forgot to, no, that doesn't make sense.
I think this one was just on the Excel spreadsheet.
Okay. Oh, if y'all agree, then I will go with your answer. And I'll play with it later.
I need to reopen it up. My Excel spreadsheet did have an error all like in the type of test, so there is a small possibility that I'm wrong on that one.
See, and I'm wondering if it was a one-sided, then we take that p-value and divide by 2, which would put the 0.039, right?
Let me see. Let me punch this in really quick if I can.
Yeah, Yeah, I think you're right. I think it is 0.039. I've got my Excel spreadsheet open right now, but there's an error where it says type of test, and so I'm wondering if that's why my p-value is left at 0.077, which means I've got to go find that.
Okay. So I'm going to be okay going with B as in boy.
Okay.
Which means I think I had 29 wrong, because if I had 0.077, I failed to reject, but not.
Right, because I did reject.
So, A?
Yes.
Yes. And these ones here, I am really questioning because I came up with some weird T-scores.
I think I did okay, but like I said, I did find this example and like, but I don't know. We came up with the same one. We went over it.
Yeah. Okay.
Did you do these ones, Dominique?
The last couple I did not get to.
Oh, I
Some of
think
the ones I still need to work through. What?
I'm writing down the answers on my paper, but I'm not entering them in the computer. I just realized.
Oh, okay.
That's not very smart of me.
Oh dear.
Okay, all right, now I'm up to date. Okay, so for 31, I just gotta remark them real quick. Okay, so for 31, for the lower, I got, and I haven't rounded them. Are we supposed to round to 3.282?
That's what I got.
And then for the upper, I got, so then 0.293.
Uh-huh. Well, if we're getting them wrong, we're getting them wrong the same.
So on this one, to get the confidence interval, which one did you plug it into? Did you use the Excel?
No, I used SPSS, and then for the confidence interval, it's descriptive statistics and then explore.
Yes. This is just a one sample T.
Okay, hold on.
This slide.
So, tell me if I'm right about this, Monica. So for the confidence interval in SPSS, for the one sample, I gotta look them all up now. The paired, no wait, for the one sample Z-test and the one sample T-test, we go to explore, right?
Yes.
But then is it for the paired and the independent that we go to the actual test? The compare means? Does that make sense?
I think on all of them we actually compare means once you run the hypothesis test.
So on this one, hold on. Was there a data file that you pulled up under the SPSS?
Yes.
Was it the blue?
Yes.
Blue scores, data file blue scores. Okay, hold on. Sorry, I'll be caught up here in just a second.
I can't wait until this class is done.
I know. Oh my gosh, I know. What are you doing? Hello, computer, come back.
Sorry, it's slowly coming up. I'm almost there. So you pulled that up, did analyze, descriptive stats, and then explore, correct?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Confidence interval that way.
Okay, so on the lower bound for the confidence interval, hold on. No crying. No crying. 0.28238.
Yes.
Yes.
Round it to the 3 decimals, you get just 0.282.
And then 0.293.
Yep.
Okay. Well, she can be in trouble, but she needs to be in trouble quietly.
No more crying. That was my candy. You ate it.
Okay. Let me get back on. Hopefully I didn't accidentally log out on here. Okay, let me put these in really quick.
Okay.
A little bit harder to concentrate when I've got noise in the background too, sorry.
No, I did this with the TV on in the background. That was hard enough, and they weren't even people that demanded attention.
Okay. So round the T statistic to 3 decimals and degrees of freedom to the nearest whole number.
Mm-hmm.
So we're on 32.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And that's where you have to run your hypothesis test.
Which this is a one sample test, right?
Yeah. This is the one that you have. Yeah, this was paired samples. So you do the one sample T on the difference.
But are you using this? But we're not using the same information as above, right? It's just so close that.
I'm not sure I'm understanding your question.
I'm just trying to pull up the degrees of freedom information I have.
Wait a minute, paired samples. Did I just lie to you? I am looking at the wrong stuff here. It is not paired samples, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Oh, my computer just locked up.
Actually, Nessa, put it on the bed. Never mind. Make sure it's an 8-ounce bottle. Put it on the bed. No, not you. You're fine. Jason, you make your 8-ounce bottle. Boy. Sorry. I took something else. Nessa.
Which test? What test were you thinking you would use on this one?
I'm sorry, I was looking at the wrong one and I said paired samples. This one here would be a single sample T.
So under compared means you do a 1 sample T test.
Uh-huh.
And then you have to
I'm not actually looking at this in SPSS, but there's a spot where you have to change a number to that .295 where it's like
yeah. Sorry, I finally pulled it up.
And I'm not sure where to change that number.
So Dominique, if you go into is it analyze, right? No.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and then you go to compare mean, and you do a 1 sample test. You're gonna drag over your blue scores, and the bottom says test value. You have to put in your mu, which is the .295.
Okay.
And so somewhere in your notes, write down that whenever you do a 1 sample test, you have to put in your mu for that test value. And that's the only one that you do that for.
So when doing a 1 sample T test, you have to put in the test value.
Yeah, which is your mu or your sigma. Your alternative or your hypothesis, whatever your hypothesis is.
Okay. So by doing that, I get the degrees of freedom of 99.
Yes.
Yeah.
And hold on.
If you ever question it, your degrees of freedom.
Make this bottle actually fast. Oh, I want to go outside.
And then the T was negative 2.803, right?
Yes.
Yeah, negative 2.803.
So, and then we go back to it. This is the same test, and we're going back to that and looking at the p-value.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And it's a 2-tell test, so we don't have to.
So we leave it at the 0.006.
Uh-huh.
Leila and Nessa, go to bed. Hurry up, Grayson.
Oh my goodness. I was looking at the mean difference. I wrote down the wrong number.
Huh?
I was looking at the bad number.
Okay. Did you get D?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the p-value is less than the level of significance.
Mm-hmm. So you reject the null.
So we have sufficient evidence to say that the true mean is different than. So D, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Come on. We'll do that. That's why I keep breaking your glasses. Over here. See? This side.
Okay. I'm pulling open this other file real quick.
Okay.
So AM height minus PM height.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to do a difference on it. Do you remember how to do that?
Yeah, I think so. Give me just a second.
Sometimes I really wish I had saved these, all of this stuff in SPSS rather than telling it not to save when I close everything out.
I actually did leave everything open. So I
Hold
do
on.
have.
Is this the, would we do the paired sample t-test where we do,
Yeah, but first you have to make a difference.
Yep. First you have to make compute a new variable.
So you go into transform and you go to compute variable.
okay, and that's where we take the height, AM height minus PM height.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then why is it not giving me the option to, let's see what it did for me. Okay, so I've got that in, and then we go into the paired sample t-test, right?
Well, that one there, you run a single sample or a one sample t-test on the difference column that you just made.
And we don't have a specific test value in this one to put in, correct?
Right. Because your null hypothesis assumes that it's 0, so 0
Okay.
is the number you want in there.
So we want the confidence interval done. And for the confidence interval, I get the 8.7278. So 8.728
Mm-hmm.
and 10.455. Is that what you guys got?
Yeah. For some reason I rounded that to a 6, but it shouldn't be. 10.455, yeah.
Yeah.
Suddenly I feel much better about this, by the way, the answers that I got. Because I just looked at number 38 and it gives p-value as approximately, which tells you it's really low.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like some of these go really well, and then others I just really struggle on, and then you start feeling pretty good about some of them. So on the t-test on this one, I got 22.446.
Yes, which is just insanely high.
Yeah.
But Callie and I both got the same thing, so if we're wrong, we're all three of us wrong the same way.
Well, that's good.
And then your degrees of freedom, 40. And then the p-value just zeroed out.
Yeah.
So you just put 0.000, right?
Yeah. When you clicked on it, it was something ridiculously, really, really low.
Yeah.
So we failed to reject because the p-value is smaller than the.
We do reject.
We
So-
do reject null.
I put yes because we rejected the null.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to submit. 89%.
Aha, no.
So 3 and 4. So 3 I've got D and 4 we've got B.
Yeah.
And those ones are wrong.
Gracie, get off the bed.
Okay, number 9 we got wrong, and I almost said something on it, but you both had the. But anyways, I'm pretty sure it's the probability of a type 1 error.
Okay.
You're not being good.
I agree.
Okay.
So
Quiet.
23 we got wrong, and then that's it.
Okay.
Well,
so 23 we have insufficient evidence.
that was the one that was worded wrong compared to the practice test.
Right.
On the practice test, I said yes, I failed to reject HO, which means we do have insufficient evidence, but maybe it's supposed to be not independent.
Yeah, that's the only way to think of it. It should be C.
Come here.
And then we got to decide what to do for the other one.
3 and 4, 9 and 23. And 9 and 23 we've already discussed.
So 3.
So 3 and 4, did anybody have something different to begin with?
No, I had independent sample t-test. And on 4, I had initially had A, which would have been 1 sample Z. But there was something about the sigma. The sigma wasn't known, so.
So originally for number 3, I had paired. And originally for number 4, which I said I was just being silly, and I don't know why I said that, but which I still don't know for sure, but I did put chi-squared.
For proportion, it is, I see where we're wrong on 4. I'm just trying to figure out which one it is. Four would probably be F, a test of 1 proportion. I don't see that it would be 2. Chi-square, I don't see that there's any independence thing as far as this goes on 4.
So what were you thinking on 4? A 1 proportion?
F, yeah, test of 1 proportion.
And then for 3, do we want to try paired?
Yeah. Paired sample T.
Okay. Nine, we were going to go with B.
No, C.
Oh, C.
C as in cat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the probability of a type 1 error.
Okay. Well, at least the ones we were really questioning came up right.
Yeah.
It's the sneaky ones that bite you in the butt. 23, we were going to say C too.
Correct.
I like that we got all our numbers, right?
Yeah.
Like our test statistics and stuff like that.
Yeah, the stuff that wasn't.
That we had to work for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lay down. Elena, you're good girl. Lay down and go to sleep. I said, bring in your blanket. Elena, lay down and go to sleep. Cassie, get up there. I said, shut up so you see. Other one.
So I had briefly contemplated trying to stream this on my phone and trying to do class while we were driving. And I'm really glad that I opted against that.
Yeah.
That would have been a little crazy.
It's been a lot of traveling this last weekend and just about 3.5 hours from home and wanted to push it, and I just decided no. So I resubmitted it, and 3 we still got wrong.
3 we still got wrong. Crud.
So it's not D and it's not C.
Well, I'm not going to resubmit yet.
Yeah, I wouldn't. It's a pain in the butt to upload everything.
Yeah. So 4 we got right, but 3 we did not.
Correct.
It's not D, it's not C.
So age discrimination. So we are wanting to go into categories. I think.
We're going to have to. Which means you're going to do a test of 2 proportions, I guess.
Well,
Oh, yes. Yes, because you're not going by the, yes, your categories are, I
let
bet,
me change it and I'll submit. You just hold on, or Monica.
1 proportion, 2 proportion, or test of independence.
I bet it's 2 proportions.
It's, I got 100%, so it's G.
It's G.
Yeah,
Test of 2 proportions.
yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Good work.
Thank you.
Ugh.
Good luck, guys.
Right. We'll say a prayer for each other.
Yes, this is getting brutal, but there's only one more after this, right?
Yes, the final.
Yes.
But the final, I don't think is going to be any worse than any of the others of these because they're all cumulative.
Yep. I agree. So,
Okay, so we have to collect our data.
yes. So, Monica, did you email the link on that?
I haven't yet.
Okay. When I looked, I didn't see anything. I was just checking.
Yeah, he actually approved it, but he said that there was one minor change to make on part 3, and then he didn't attach anything that tells what the minor change is. So I'm going to email him and find out if he can, attach a document or something that shows everything. And I'll also, when I'm sending emails around, I'll also send that link.
Okay, that sounds great. So I'll look for that, and other than the test, that's the only thing we've got to do this week.
Yep. Woohoo!
Yay.
So then we'll just do a random sample and then we'll compare to see if we have. How many are we doing a random sample of?
I say 33 because that'll bring us up to 100 total.
Yeah.
And
And
we
he
use
wants us to send the raw data, so I'm expecting that as we get the random sampler, we just submit to him what our actual dates are and numbers. And because he doesn't want a table or anything, so we don't determine if it's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday at this point. We just send him our raw data, each of us, and then we go in and
I think he doesn't want a table. I don't know how you don't do it like that.
well, I think he does eventually, but when I was listening to his last,
no, if you go into the rubric right now, I'm looking at the rubric, and it does say, for the rubric, it says organize data in a well-labeled table, so it's easy to see exactly what you collected.
okay, so he does want the raw data in a table.
Yeah.
Like,
The way that I did it in the assignment where he asked for the data when I resent it, there's a thing that says like the date, the day of the week, and then the number of earthquakes for that date.
Okay. So once we've got our dates, and then we start collecting that to go back and look at exactly what day of the week and everything that is. That's what we put in the table for him.
Yes.
Okay.
okay.
Sounds good. I'm going to knock my little people out and put them to bed.
Okay. And I mean, any questions or whatever, I'm sure we can all email each other or text each other. Or, I mean, if we want to arrange another group meeting for later on in the week so we can talk again about what we gather before we turn it in, I could do that.
Okay, I'm good with that too. I work Friday, but that's the only. But then I'm still home by, 8 o'clock. So.
I usually work Friday. I did take it off, but that's because we're having a 4th of July celebration Friday night.
Do you just want to check in on Thursday at the normal time then?
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I can do that. Just to double check in, say, hey, how's it look? How's you doing?
Okay, so we're looking at the 2nd Yeah. Let's go ahead and do that. And we'll just meet up, same time, same place on Thursday, and just see where we're at.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
All right. You guys have a great night.
All right, drive safely getting home.
Thank you. You guys have a good one. Talk to you in a couple days.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Bye.